Hello, a very good morning to all of you again. So now we will be discussing about the difference between the public and the private finance. Okay, so let me share my screen and okay, so let us look here. So what are the differences between the public and the private finance? Okay. Okay, so so here we will be discussing about the differences between the public and the private finance and their similarities. So you must have come across, I mean, now by now you must be aware, you must know what is public finance, right? Because we have been talking a lot about public finance in the previous three videos. Yeah. So here, private finance is what private means private, right? It's an individual finances, farms or household. So there are similarities and there are dissimilarities. And the similarities are that both the public and the private finance, they aim for the maximum advantage. They look for the maximum advantage. How can they get a maximum advantage from what they are financing, what they are spending? And they also borrow money from other sources for government. They also borrow money from RBI, from IDA, International Development Agency loans, and etc. Okay, from World Bank also sometimes the government borrows. So like this. So and for individuals also you have to borrow money from banks and other sources which provide loans, right? So individuals and the both for public and the individual, they borrow money. And for the adjustment of the income and the expenditures, both of the public finance and the private has to adjust the income and the expenditures that they get. And then but there is a problem of choice, that is where to spend the money, where because there are lots of things to spend, so it depends uh, on the see, I mean, how do they spend the money? So there's the problem of choice. And then both the public and the private finance, they look for the efficient management of their finance. I mean, अच्छे से use करना है. And the dissimilarities are, as you know, that public finance, it deals with the government spending, it deals with the government borrowings, and it deals with the government deficits and taxations. But in case of public finance, it deals with, oh sorry, private finance, it deals with spending, borrowings of an individuals, right? And then the private individuals, so it is best on the private individuals to decide where to spend the money based on his or her income. But for the government, they have to ensure that they are spending money in all sectors. And in case of the public finance, it has to, the government has to see how how they are spending for the welfare of the public. But in case of private finance, they look for their own individual profits. But for the government, it is for the maximum welfare of the public. And for the private finance, so it talks about, it deals with, expenditure. I mean, private finance expenditures and your income can be kept secret, but then for government, it cannot be kept secret. And then the government makes a basic deficit budget, but then the private finance, they always look for the surplus budget. Now, in case of a situation like this, coronavirus pandemic, and also we see that the government are making deficit budget because it is a some unprecedented time, unavoidable time that we are in, and there are lots of expenditures like the government are incurring, and all this leads to the government deficit. Okay, so the public expenditures, the public income, the public finance, all the taxation, what has to be taxes. So I mean, all those things they discuss in the budget, for a year, for a year. So now, when do the government sit together in parliament to discuss and to have a budget session? Anybody? So you find it out, when do the government sit for a budget and how many times they meet in the parliament and what is the time duration. Okay, the gap period you have to see. So you find it out, and this is going to help you in your future also, because you have to know that these all are important for your career as well. So you have to know, this is a very political science question, but I know that all of you are studying political science as your first course, I mean other subjects. So you must know this, that the time period between the two budget sessions and when do they keep budget, right? And the another is like, in case of the elasticity, like public finance is relative more elastic than the private interest, right? So here it's like uh, mm, only Elasticity, you remember now when we say elastic, what does it mean? You have studied in a microeconomics things. So elastic means it is more likely to be changed. Okay, inelastic means it is not changes. So in case of microeconomics, I mean we have in price elasticity, right? Change in the demand due to the change in the price, relative change in the demand due to the change in the price. So in case of public finance also it is more elastic, relatively elastic than the private finance, because private finance you cannot suddenly change your income, you can suddenly change your expenditures and all those things. Okay, so this, thank you. So I hope that all of you have learned something new today. And yeah, please consider, please uh, try to find out all that I have asked you to find out what is, when do the parliament, I mean, when do the parliament have a session, budget session, and how many times in a year they take out, I mean, budget session, how many times? 1, 2, 3, 4. And then when is the budget session? So you have to find all those things. As a political science student, as an economic also, you have to know, because this all are interrelated. Okay. Yeah, okay. Thank you so much. And and if you have any problems, any doubts, then please feel free to contact me. Okay.